Network, a Fanboys Inc. production.
Can you dig it, nigga, sucker? Ooh, yeah! We boo you because you're both a couple of world-class international a-holes.
It's 5/10/22, and we've got the top 5 dead or alive. Sammy Diaz is joining us tonight with Lewis Perry and myself, Jack Purcell. The man is here. Sammy, thank you for joining us.
No, thank you for having me, guys. Thank you.
This is like really, Jack, for once, I'm not going to say anything bad about your intro because I'm going to blame Meta because I went to share our post and all kinds of bullcrap just happened here. What the hell there? Mark, whatever your name is, Luppenberger or whatever. It won't let me share the post on the Earplug podcast page. So you know what? That guy sucks. Yeah. Anyway, Sammy, how are you, man? Nice to meet you. Huge fan. And
I'm doing good.
Welcome to the Faces and Heels podcast. Jack, continue. Go on. Don't make the guy waiting. He's a busy guy.
Yes. All right. Well, Sammy, we appreciate having you. And I had to wear my Bell Time Club shirt in honor of you being here tonight because the first time that I became aware of you and your work was you against hard-hitting Bobby Ocean, who was our first ever guest on this podcast. And
Good
you
friend
guys
of mine.
were at Fenway Park in Boston.
Oh, really nice. That brings back a fun memory. I remember that. I believe it was like two summers ago, right? Something like that. In Fenway.
I think it was like 2019. Right before the pandemic, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe my timeline.
I believe so. Maybe.
Yeah, but I just remember being like, "Whoa, who's this guy?" And that's what got my attention to be like, "Oh, Sammy Diaz," and I had to kind of
Bobby Ocean cheated that match too. I don't know if you finished the match, but I know Bobby Ocean cheated that night, so I don't know what happened. But yes, that was Bobby's the man. Bell Time Club, obviously a sister club of Tesla Strength. Tesla Strength is where I train currently, and I know Wagner Brown, my trainer, and Bo Dallas. Bo. Yes, Bo. Why am I blank right now? Bo Douglas.
Oh.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm sorry, Bo. I'm sorry. Yes, they are close friends, and Bell Time Club is a second home for me also. So nice to see you with a shirt.
Yeah, I got one from Dante. Dante hooked me up.
Oh yeah, Dante's the man. He's the man.
Dante's my twin.
Yeah, I can see the
resemblance. Don't we look alike? I tell Dante that all the time. We do. We look alike. I mean, we're both the same size. We both have the same skin complexion, but I think his hair is just a little bit different of a style. But other than that,
I think he just grew it out now. But I can see the
I think so. But every time I see him, I say, we could be twinned, we could be brothers, and he knows that. I mean, he agrees with me.
Yeah, he's a good dude. We have funny connections with him in the comic book world too. So it's cool to see, like in wrestling and comics, he's into both of those worlds. So you kind of answered my next question. He's a
I was trying to cut you off. I would just say Dante has his foot in everything, man. He's like everywhere. Every time I see him, he's at basketball games, football games, wrestling events. He's with actors. He's the man. He's the true man. I like Dante. Good people.
He is. He is. Documentaries. Yeah, he's a super talent. And he was even at my event with Stan Lee when we sent Stan Lee off from New England Comic Conventions. He was there documenting the whole thing. So anyway, shout out
Nice,
to
yes.
Dante. But you answered our question about test of strength. So it seems like I don't know exactly where you were born. So I kind of want to back up. Are you a Connecticut guy? Do I have that right?
Yes, Hartford, Connecticut. I was born in Hartford, Connecticut, raised in Manchester for most of my life. It's like 10 minutes away from Hartford if you're not too familiar with Connecticut. So yeah, I was born in Connecticut. Um, Most of my life, all my life actually, but Hartford, that's where I was born.
Right on. So when you were young, were you into pro wrestling, or what was it that introduced you to this art form?
Like most kids, parents, my dad was in love with professional wrestling, and my mom, when she met my dad, she said that all he ever loved was Hulk Hogan and Macho Man. So he's on part of that era. So once I start falling in love with professional wrestling was I believe at the age of 4 was the first memory of professional wrestling with Sean and Brett. I just remember the Iron Man match. I was just 4 years old. I just remember for some reason this match was just so long, and it was the 60-minute Iron Man match. But I was just so into it because both of them were my favorite wrestlers at the time, and I still love those guys, because that was my childhood, and I always wanted to be like Sean and Brett. Those guys are my guys, and that was my first memory of professional wrestling. What
All
I
right.
that I remember.
Well, those are some
Um,
pretty amazing shoes to follow. I mean, unbelievable. I remember in Springfield, I think it was just prior to their WrestleMania match in Springfield, Mass. They ended up fighting at the Springfield Civic Center in Massachusetts because someone, I think the Undertaker, couldn't make it or
it
something.
was
And
Diesel.
so, oh, was it Diesel? Yeah. So anyway, they ended up wrestling and it was like a preview. It was amazing.
Yeah, because
Yeah, yeah.
the card was now. Sammy, you're gonna first of all. Eric Hunting says, "Good evening, guys. Sammy is the man." The card
My
ended
man.
up being a preview. First, Sean had to wrestle Owen, and Brett had to wrestle Davy Boy, and then later on it was a lumberjack match between Sean and Brett. And there was a little girl that ended up in the ring afterwards with Sean, and I really don't know who that little girl was. But if you remember that, yeah, of course I do. But it was really, real. It was a good card. It was a Saturday afternoon card. The Undertaker and Diesel both did not show up for that match. Eric Hunton says the first time I saw Sammy was at TOS.
Test O strength. Yeah. Eric's we just saw Eric at Blitzkrieg and he's definitely a big fan of yours. I told him that you were going to be on and he was pumped, so I'm glad he's here.
Nah, thank you. Always to all the fans that support me since day one. I appreciate you. Without you guys, there's no Sammy Diaz. So continue to support, and I appreciate you every day.
And you've been all over so many promotions because I mean I might have this wrong because sometimes I get my shows mixed up that I try to go to a bunch of different companies, but you wrestled for everyone from like Battlefront to obviously Blitzkrieg. You're a regular at Blitzkrieg. I've seen you on Limitless. I saw you at Beyond and so many other companies. It just feels like not only I guess I should say also congratulations in your personal life getting married. You just seem like
Yes,
you're
thank you.
really on a roll and having like some monster success.
I'm trying, man. Just as trying to get my foot in every door as possible. It's just everybody knows this wrestling business is hard. It's 50% is showing up. Everybody knows you gotta do the work when nobody's watching. You gotta go to training. You gotta put in the miles in the car. You gotta just show up to these shows and help out when you can, and hopefully get opportunity down the line. And that's all I've been trying to do these past years since I started wrestling. Is just help out, get noticed, make a name for myself, and hopefully get opportunity to go to that next level somewhere else.
What was the best advice you were given so far?
Stay humble. Stay
What
humble
was
because
okay?
the same what they say on the way up are the same the kissing on the way down, right? That's what they
Yeah, yeah.
say.
Okay. What
Stay
was the
humble,
best
but
of what was the best advice you have given so far?
given, just don't quit. I know John Cena has the never give up, but just don't quit. You only fail when you stop. You only fail when you quit. As long as you keep going, do this long enough. Hopefully, people gonna find out who you are. Just keep working, stay humble, and stay focused. Never quit.
All
Yeah,
right,
no, for
and
sure. It's perfect advice. Jake Claus, who we just saw this weekend,
mm,
says La Familia.
La Familia. That's
Oh, is
firm.
that what? Oh, look at I.
La-
Louis, you didn't put it on the screen. I didn't read it correctly. There we go.
no, it's all
there.
good. I would have caught it. I would have caught it.
Nice, nice. All right, I'm getting revved up now. Here we go. I'm coming up
No,
to
it's fun.
speed.
It's good.
So I'm
So
hoping. Oh, go ahead, Louis.
no, go ahead, Jack. Go ahead.
So
Don't let me
I,
step on your
it's
toes.
it's been
I
no,
don't
that'll
mean to.
never happen, right? You'll never step on me. That's definitely never happening, right? That doesn't happen every
Never.
week.
No.
So it's been cool for me because like I kind of made a resolution with myself this year that I was going to get out to more shows. I'm always at the Blitzkrieg shows and Pro Wrestling Grind, which by the way I'd love to see you at. Hopefully we're going to see a debut in
Mm.
2022. But seeing you at
Hopefully.
Beyond has been really fun too. Is that I guess I don't know how
Wrestling
frequently.
Open. I know Wrestling Open and Beyond. They try to hold the different banners, but either way, Wrestling Open, Beyond. I'm just grateful to get the opportunity to be with those guys right now and try to help build Wrestling Open and obviously help myself with helping them get a name for myself and helping build the brand. Obviously, there's a lot more guys that's on the roster right now that they're contributing to, like a
Yeah, I
lot of
mean,
guys that want to get in there too.
how many shows have you wrestled? Like, was Wrestling Open your first work with Beyond? Because that was like I hadn't seen you with
I
Beyond
showed up
until that.
to I've helped out with Beyond in the past, like as far as like other stuff backstage and like setup and obviously, but as far as like Wrestling Open with Beyond Wrestling Open, they had a soft open. I think it was the Wrestable,
Yeah.
and it was supposed to be a Blitzkrieg show that got canceled. I was supposed to wrestle Max Caster on that show, and Beyond gave us the opportunity to keep the guys that wanted to wrestle still for the Blitzkrieg show to do the Wrestling Open, soft open. And I was grateful enough to get opportunity. We were supposed to wrestle Miracle Generation, me and my tag partner, but obviously things got changed up, so I had to wrestle my tag partner just to get opportunity. And that's just how it is, just to get some eyes on it. I didn't care. We didn't care if we had to wrestle each other.
Nice.
Most
Yeah,
So
that
I
was
mean,
yes. That sorry for the long explanation, but yes, that was my first time with Beyond the Wrestling Open. It was
yeah. So
the first week of January of 2022.
I don't want to ask any questions that you can't answer, by the way, but I'm just curious. Like, I'm hoping to get to a lot more of the Beyond shows over the summer. Do you think you're going to be making more frequent appearances there over the summer this year?
I would sure like to. I know Thursdays. I've been trying to go to every Thursday or every other Thursday at least. As it all depends on like stuff at home with work and the shoot job and all of that stuff. But if obviously if I have the time and I'm there, either if I'm on the card or not, I'll try to show up and help out.
Nice, because there is such an awesome roster there. Like, there's so many guys who I've just seen blow up. Like, I remember your match with Aaron Rourke at Blitzkrieg, and I know he was just there fairly recently, a few weeks ago. They got
Yeah.
Max Caster, who you mentioned before. I mean, there's just so many guys. The Brick Cities there. There's just an amazing array of talent,
It,
and
it it's fun because we got a lot of guys that I've wrestled already. Me and my partner, or in just singles competition. Like Aaron Rourke, I wrestled him. Brick City, we wrestled them. Miracle Generation wrestled them. Ichiban wrestled them. Outside of Wrestling Open and Beyond, obviously it'll be fun to wrestle everybody there for Beyond because obviously Beyond is a very popular company and a lot of eyes follow them. So it'll be fun to have those matches, with those guys there as well.
yeah, for sure. I'm hoping you do. Eric Hunting is back saying, looking forward to seeing Sammy at PvP in June.
Yes, I make my PvP debut in June. I believe it's June 5th. I might be wrong, but I have to look at my calendar. But yes, this is my debut. I'm excited because I've been wanting to. wrestled for PvP for a long time. So finally happy to get it done.
That's
What is
phenomenal.
your Sammy? What is your pre-match ritual?
Uh, uh, normally I'm just spaced out, focused. I normally try to find either one of my guys that trains with us. I don't know if you're too familiar with him. Jordan Rowe, he's a grapple guy. Jordan Rowe, or
Mhm.
Elijah Six, one of my partners, or any member of the firm. I would silly, jokingly go up to them and be like, "I'm kind of nervous right now. Amp me up, hype me up. I need to hear something." And then they'll just be, "Come on, are you fucking serious?" I'm saying, I don't know what the.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
All right. They was like, "Come on, you serious? You Sammy Diaz, top five. You're the ace. Come on, knock the fuck yeah." So basically, I just joke around like that. Other than that, I don't listen to music. I don't. I just stretch, and focus, and zoned out, and that's pretty much it. I just try to pace back and forth, and just try to stay focused. I like
All right.
to have stuff go perfect. You know.
What was the one match that you had, the one fight that you were nervous walking down that aisle to?
It's a tough one because like I probably I'll have to go with wrestling my coach Slick Wagner Brown and Jay Freddy in a tag match because their history with themselves and it's just I don't know, just when you wrestle your coach, you don't want to either stiff them, you don't want to you don't want to make you want them to feel good and comfortable with what they're coaching you. You want to make them feel safe with their body, you know. And sometimes coaches don't always get in the ring with their students. Even though I've been doing this for 5 years, I know he trusts me because he wouldn't put me in a position that he didn't feel comfortable with.
Hmm.
But I'll probably just say that one. I'll probably just say Slick Wagner Brown just because I know how he is.
What was it? Butterflies? Did you have to use the restroom before the match?
Well, butterflies are before every match, man. Every
Really?
match,
Okay.
yeah, every match. There's probably one. There's probably if I'm wrestling one of my guys like I train with consistently, I probably won't have too much butterflies. I'll just be just nervous. I'm always nervous before matches for some reason. I can't help it. This is fun feeling. Butterflies, ready to go kick some ass and just I'm ready, man. Those feelings you can't shake those butterflies. The day that you don't have those butterflies is the day you should stop, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, good call. Jay Claus says Test of Strength Wrestling is one of the best wrestling federations in the Northeast because of talent like Sammy.
Oh.
I appreciate that because I hold test of strength on my back. You know, I when I go travel to these places, when I go to other promotions, they ask where I train and who's my trainer. Obviously, I want to represent my school and my trainer correctly, and so that's pretty good and nice to hear from someone from the outside.
Okay.
I would love to see
Go ahead, Jack. Go
I would
ahead.
love to see you debut at Pro Wrestling Grind against Jay Freddy, who you mentioned before, because that guy has torn it up there. And I always talk to Rip about how nice his new guardrails are. And it's no thanks to Jay Freddy, because that guy just destroys them every time.
Yes.
Jay Freddy's a man. I love Jay Freddy. He definitely hits hard. He definitely chops hard. I would love to get in there and fight with Jay Freddy because that's exactly what it'd be. It's a fight every time we're in the ring with each other. We both have similar styles. We like the technician. We like to fly sometimes. We like to get dirty. We like to forearm each other. But yeah, I would love to go wrestle Jay Freddy at Pro Wrestling Grind. I just want to wrestle at Pro Wrestling Grind in general because I love the concept. I love the style. I love the Japan-ish type vibe to it. I love that because that's one of my biggest goals is to wrestle in Japan in that style, you know. So to do it kind of similar to that at home, it would be fun.
It's funny. You just said hard hitting, and that was going to be my question. Besides hard hitting Bobby Ocean, who was this is so strange. Um, Bobby actually came up twice in my life tonight, which is really weird. One of my kids came in and says, "Hey, I work with Bobby's cousin," and I'm like, "Well, Okay, which is really new. You came out and started talking about Bobby. Who was the hardest hitting opponent you've been in the ring with so far? Who's been the stiffest or most hardest hitting? Who hit you like you kissed the express train?
I tell you what, I can't think of too many, but there's like one or two matches I could think of that I could still remember. Like, damn, that shit hurt it. And it was, believe it or not, she's one tough. I say she, but Masha. I was in a four-way with Masha, and she is as tough as they get. And I love that about her because she will bring it to you no matter what. If you're a female or a guy, she brings it. And I would probably have to say my coach Wagner and probably Jay Freddy.
Okay. Okay. All
Well,
right, Jack.
I wondered if among your influences, and you mentioned Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, but I wondered if among your influences was Ricochet, because one thing I've always noticed about your moveset is it seems like you really like to use the ring and especially the ropes. You'll be like slingshotting in, you'll be like, going into the corner and kind of throwing kicks, grabbing the ropes and keeping yourself on your feet when you land.
I could see that. I could see like similarities, but I never really been like a Ricochet type person. Like I appreciate everything that he does. He's phenomenal everything he does in the ring. But as far as like doing the springboards and like all that stuff was AJ Styles, man. He was my guy back
Ooh.
in like 2005 and 6. I wanted to be AJ Styles so bad when I was 16 or 15, 14 years old. I would do like 450s off my couch onto the bed, and like that's how I learned to do. That's how I learned to do all my flips was either backyard wrestling with my friends or in the basement with the friends I was doing it in the backyard with. So it was like we used to have mattresses in the basement, and all we ever wanted to do was be AJ Styles, Daniels, and Samoa Joe because my buddy was a heavy set guy, and I always wanted to be every AJ Styles. So that's who I take most of my offense and style from. I would say AJ Styles and Eddie Guerrero. A little bit of both. Try to mash up with who Sammy Diaz is.
I
Wow.
get that a lot. A lot of people today from this is going to sound bad, so please forgive me. Your generation.
I know. I get
All right,
it.
because like I am all 80s, early
It's all
90s, and
eras, man. It's all
70s.
eras and generations.
Yeah, so like or your era, let's say everyone is influenced by Eddie, and I mean rightly so, rightly so, because he is one of the greatest of all time, and everyone. Oh, I study a lot of Eddie. I study a lot of Eddie, and you can see that even in today's talent on. No matter where you watch, you watch Raw, you watch WWE, you watch Ring of Honor, Impact, or AEW, which is to me the greatest on TV right now. You see a lot of people that are influenced by Eddie. So I find that
Yeah, cause
fantastic that everyone is.
yeah, cause a lot of guys that are wrestling now. Obviously, we grew up on that early 2000. Me, I love everything about the Attitude Era going into the Ruthless Aggression Era. But as far as Eddie Guerrero, for me, I just looked up to him because he's like obviously like in my top three favorite wrestlers. I always say
Mm-hmm.
AJ Styles, Shawn, and Eddie, no order. It could be anyone, but those are like my guys, and they're all pretty similar in sizes. They're
Yep.
6 foot, high fly, kind of technical. I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to be because I never was the tallest, I never was the strongest. I just found those guys to always have heart and never give up. I just wanted to be like those guys. Eddie, most importantly, because as a Latino kid growing up, we had Eddie to represent us on TV. Even though I'm Puerto Rican, he's Mexican, Latino. We had somebody represent us on TV, and he had all the fight in the world. He was everything to me at 12 years old, 13 years old. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, he was everything to everyone. To be
Yeah,
honest, I mean,
just that whole lie cheat still. It was so over. It was so hilarious. Everything he did
it
was
was.
so funny. He's
It
the
was. All
man.
right, we have
Yeah,
some
but
comments.
a few fans wanted to chime in here. So Jay Claus says Sammy would be perfect for Japan and I think the fans there. I think. Oh, hold on. I think the fans there would be blessed to enjoy his style.
Thank you. Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Definitely agree with that. Wolfie, hey, Wolfie says, hey, Sammy, I have asked this of other guests who have been on here. I will ask you, what is the worst bump you have ever taken?
Ooh.
I
He's
just
speechless. He's
I just took
speechless.
it.
He just took it. Yeah, being on this show. No.
Yes. Nah, I just took one. I think it was April, either March or April. I was on an apron and Flash of the Miracle Generation jumped over the top rope and gave me a hurricanrana from the apron to the floor on
Oof.
just straight floor. So that bump was, yeah, I think that was the worst one. As far I didn't, I just took my breath away for that quick second, you know. So it's like there's no give on the floor like there is in the ring.
What
No.
venue were you at the White Eagle?
No, 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 no. Luckily, because that's that Beyond ring is very high.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I was in Waterbury, and it was a Texas
Oh,
Strength show.
oh, gotcha.
It was me and Eli versus Flash and Kylon, and it was when we lost the tag team titles to them. But yeah, that was the worst bump
Well,
that
see,
I
now you have
took.
an excuse for losing. You had the wind knocked out of you. You need
I couldn't breathe, man.
representation, and I will be your representation. I mean, I will get you the gold back with this sign on the
I,
dotted line.
I felt
I.
like Mike Tyson. My back is broken. Yeah, I tried to get help. Nobody helped me, man. That's why we lost the belt.
um, what was it like? And I asked. I've been asking all our guests this lately. The first time you walked from behind the curtain, you were walking down the aisle, and you saw a fan holding a sign with your name on it. How did that make you feel?
It's a good feeling, man. It felt like let's. It really felt like, oh shit, like this shit is really happening. Like I'm really a wrestler now. Because at first, like even if it's like a kid, I debuted at one show and a kid, I made a connection with one kid at that show, and the next show he brought a sign, and that's what I'm relating to. I was like, I don't know, it's a kid, but it's like, man, I did one show and I made a connection with that one kid, and he's already back with a sign. So that was a good feeling that I was doing the right thing. Like, okay, maybe I should keep doing this wrestling shit. Like, but yeah,
All
that
right,
was it
Jack.
felt good. It's a good feeling, man. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's
All
got to
right.
be. I mean, I had a question for you that I'm not sure even how much you want to pull back the curtain, but I'm just very curious because, like I mentioned, you really kind of blew up on my radar in that match at Fenway Park, and then I started noticing you popping up all over. I mean, especially through the pandemic, it seemed like you were one of those people who really excelled during that time, and some people didn't. And I would just kind of wonder. I don't know if you want to talk about it or not, but like, what is the process like? Because it's got to be. It's not an accident that you're all of a sudden everywhere. Like from a fan perspective, it just seems like I'm seeing you a lot more often all over. Like, do you actively send out like links to your work online to promoters, or like how does it happen? You just get phone calls, or like how do you end up spreading the Sammy Diaz word?
A little bit of both. Obviously, I reach out to promotions. Um, Promotions reach out to me, but I just feel like people are getting late to the party, man. I feel like I've been working my ass off for the past 5, 6 years to try to create this buzz, and it's funny that sometimes that people be like, "Oh, you're good, man. You should have been here, such and such." I'm like, I've been consistent for this long. Like, you should have been reached out. It's funny because promoters be like, "Man, I've always wanted you on my show. I reached out to you like 2 years ago," but it's like
Yeah, right.
I don't know, just some like again, it's 50% is showing up, helping out, but it's about networking with friends, other guys that train at other schools, going to schools, go even if you go to a school to go train one time, just to show them what you're capable of in training or in a match after training to try to get an opportunity on the show, and just showing up, man, trying to either go to shows that my guys are booked on, or either reach out, help out. It's pretty much it. Just most importantly, stay consistent with working out and trying to put in the work and training and put as many miles on your car to help out as much as you can. That's pretty much it. It's
Yeah,
a
well, it seems.
long, consistent, terrible grind, but it's worth it. It's worth every moment, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like from a fan perspective, it's easy for me to say, but it just seems like it seems to be paying off because I'm just seeing you more and more in all these different promotions, which it just seems can be nothing but a good thing that we're going to see
I mean,
you.
it feels good, man. It feels good, and the fact that you're even mentioning it, it makes me feel good to know that I'm working hard and trying to keep this thing going that I built, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're somebody who even like my son is 14, and you're somebody who's really stood out to him because he doesn't know, he doesn't follow the indies that much. He goes to the Blitzkrieg shows, so when he sees somebody who stands out, he's like, "Oh, who's that?"
Yeah,
And so I get to
right.
tell him a little bit about you.
Yeah,
Jay Claus says, "I get a lot of Seth Rollins vibes from Sammy, even slightly in appearance and even vocally. Hope that's a compliment. LOL."
you jackass. Say no. Nah, Steph's the man, man. I love Steph right now. You tell he's having a good time with what he's doing on TV right now. I'm a fan of his. Obviously, I'm a fan of his work. I take little stuff from wrestlers I like currently now. I won't obviously rip somebody's whole move set and apply it to what I'm doing, because if I do it and other people know it's Seth Rollins or AJ Styles, they're gonna think of AJ Styles and Seth Rollins instead of Sammy Diaz. You know, everything I do in the ring, I try to either tweak to my own or try to invent something. Create. I know creating is hard in wrestling, but just as much as what do I say is what the, when you're in training and you're just going and things happening, that's the best way to create.
All
Yeah,
right.
I think that you're one of those guys. Sorry, Lewis. I just think
No,
you're
it's
one of
okay.
those guys um, who really does put his own spin on things. Because it's too often, like I see a lot of wrestlers who I think are great. Again, just from a fan perspective, I'm like, awesome. This guy does an amazing Hurricane Rana, an amazing dive, but it's predictable. It feels like, well,
Yeah,
a lot of guys do that. And I always like the wrestlers who do kind of put their own signature on things a little bit more. And I feel like you're one of those guys who clearly does that. It's like in music, when things are too electronic and predictable, it's boring. Like
yeah,
there's got to be a surprise there somewhere. There's got to be some individual flair. And I feel like
yeah,
that's something that people must like about you, whether they know it or not.
yeah. Oh, thank you, appreciate that.
When
Sorry,
you're
Lewis.
when you're creating a new move, do you first get into the ring and you're there with a sparring partner and you're locking up collar and elbow, or you're just like, hey, I want to try something, and you're sparring with this guy? Do you try it out on the spot? Do you figure it out on the spot, or do you put it on paper and say, okay, if I could do this, put him in an arm bar and then twist him this way? How do you come up with a move? I asked this to other people, and they said they write it down. Another person said they just try it on the mat to see if it's going to work. How does Sammy do it?
Well, normally I would need one guy to demonstrate on and another guy to watch to see how it looks.
Okay.
So normally I would go through the motion. I wouldn't actually bump somebody, or if I feel like I'm gonna drop them or hurt them or somewhere, I would just probably pick them up and slowly go through the motion of how it would go or how it would flow, and I would ask the other person how it would look. How can we make this look better? So it's kind of a process, not a process like a long process, but it's just like you got to get those opinions from others that's in the gym with you or in the ring with you, just to see, because you don't want to go out there and do a move for the first time and injure somebody, or you don't want to
No,
just
no, no.
drop
That's
somebody.
that's yeah. That's not what I was like. I talked to other people and they were like, "Oh, well, I would invent it by like writing it down on the paper. I would draw it out, and then I would, then get my sparring partner, and I
Yeah,
would
yeah,
say,
yeah.
okay,
So yes,
this is what I'm thinking about. What do you think? I was thinking, how do you create that new?
As far as creating,
that's what I was getting at.
I would probably just keep it up here. I never really write stuff down unless it's in my notebook, like my notepad in my phone. Because I don't know, as far like if I could see it up here, I could do it in the ring, you know. So it's like
that's what I was thinking. I wasn't asking. How do you?
Oh no, I got you.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll just probably keep it up here. I'll just probably try to bring it to my training partner so he gets it too. I try to explain it to him as best so he gets it. So we both are on the same page. So he's not going against the move I'm trying to do. So we're just trying to make it best or perfect so nobody does get hurt, you know. Especially trying a new move.
Yeah.
Nice. Jay Claus is actually leading into one of my next questions because I saw you with your black and yellow Sammy Diaz shirt. And Jay Claus says, how does the whole business of making your own shirts work, like wrestling tees, so to speak? I think Sammy has like 4 for sale there.
Hold it back up, Sammy.
Oh, here we go. Go get your Sammy Diaz merch, nice. Top 5 dead or alive.
That's a nice design.
How's it work? Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. I gotta find their ad on Twitter. They made it for me, and they sent it over, and I just put it on the shirt. Great job. I feel terrible because I forgot the name.
Well, I always find the difficulty with shirts is like really difficult to know. Okay, so I got this cool design, but how many am I going to print? Because I got to get extra large, 2X, maybe triple X, large, small, or the women who are buying it. So, I mean, that to me is always the challenging part is quantity. And you have this cool design. You want everyone who comes to your table to find their size. That in itself has got to be challenging.
Yeah, that's always hard. That's why I try to do 5. I try to do a bulk of 30, like 5 of each side, 5 small, 5 medium, 5 large, and so on. That's obviously like with the like 5X's and 4X's, you'll just get 2 or 3 of those, or just in case. But obviously, if I don't have any sizes, I have pro wrestling tees where I would recommend somebody to go buy a shirt from. And as far as the process of it, it's just I don't know. As designs, I have a design guy that does like the gear that I wear and my kick pads and stuff. He does like most of my merch. He's a GM at Texas Strength, Alex Rojas. He's heel shit apparel. I don't know if you guys are too familiar. He does Belltime Club, the shirt that you're wearing right now. He created that.
Oh, right on.
And yeah, so he's the man when it comes to designs and stuff. And as far as like getting it yourself, as far as getting the actual bulk size and stuff, I know they do pro wrestling tees or not. You can just find any shirt spot that has them for good prices. I'm not gonna tell you to go through pro wrestling tees if you have someone that's cheaper, you know.
Yeah, right. So where did you come up with the top 5 dead or alive? Because that's one of the things that was on your T-shirt. Like, where did you come up with that?
Got it from a rapper, man. I'm not even gonna lie. One of my favorite rappers. He says it. He used to say it back in the day. He stopped saying it for a while, but Jadakiss used to say top 5 dead or alive. I think he had an album that was called that, and I was like, man, that'd be a cool nickname for somebody. I like, that's a good name for me. What am I talking about? Like,
yeah, nice.
I just thought I don't know. I just found I know at Texas Strength I call myself the ace, but going other places, I know certain people call themselves the ace at other promotions. So I don't want to just be similar to somebody else or have the same moniker or label or whatever it might be as someone else. I always wanted people to remember Sammy Diaz, and I just felt like top 5 dead or alive is perfect at the moment right now to try to create this new buzz that I'm trying to make right now. And top 5 dead or alive was the best thing. And over the past weekend on Saturday, I had a match, and it felt good because during my fire, I said top 5, and the rest of the crowd said dead or alive. So I felt like I was catching on to something.
Now you're gonna have an arch nemesis pretty soon. It's gonna be Johnny 5 is alive.
Yes.
See if anybody out there gets that reference. I don't know if Jack, if you got that reference. Sammy, did you get the reference?
You gotta explain it to me if you.
Oh my God! Wolfie, did you get the reference? If you did, please put it in the comments. Johnny Five is alive. Let's see if anybody gets that reference, because, like I said, it's era. It's Johnny Five is alive. We'll set up a new nemesis for you. Right there you go. Eric gets it. Eric gets a no prize. Short Circuit. That's right. The movie Short Circuit. Johnny Five is alive.
It's generation.
It is generation. I mean, look at my background. It's generation. Jack, continue with the questions, please.
Well, we were talking earlier about, at least from my perspective as a fan, 2022 has been a big year of momentum for you. And, I don't know how you see it, because I'm sure it's just a nonstop grind. But what do you see, if any? Do you have any specific goals? Like, is there a specific company? Like you mentioned Pro Wrestling Grind. But is there a specific company that you want to work for, or a specific goal, or do you want to be working a certain amount of times a week? Like, how do you frame that in your mind?
Oh man, it could be so hard sometimes, because obviously I want to wrestle 4 times a weekend. I mean, as far as like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if I can. But obviously in Connecticut or New England, most shows are either Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. We have Thursday shows, but a lot of shows aren't going on the same day as Beyond, So there's like as far I want to wrestle every. If I could, I would wrestle every day. I'm not gonna say that, but but yeah. So I don't know. I just want to wrestle everywhere. I would love to wrestle more for like Limitless Wrestling. Obviously, it's got great production. I'm a big fan of their work. Down south, I would like to go a little bit more down south. Out west, obviously, I think it's called West Coast Pro. I think we got some good stuff going on right now. I've been keeping tabs on them. Just I don't know. New England, I feel like most of the promotions I've either worked for or I want to continue to work for, because I feel like New England is hot right now. I feel like New England is the best. I don't know if you want to say territory, but I think it's the best
No,
right now.
it is a territory. Yeah, no, you're 100%
in my
right.
point.
It is a territory, and you seem very hungry for sure. If you want to branch
For
out,
sure, man. I wanna go everywhere, man. I wanna go overseas. I wanna continue to create a buzz. So hopefully one day I could get a contract and make a living for my family.
Yep. With that being said, who do you want to fight? Who is
As
the
far
one?
as
Who is that one guy you want to get in the ring with? Who's the one girl you want to get? Who is the one opponent you want to throw down with in the ring? Dream
it's hard
opponent.
because you got my dream opponent right now. Right now, I would still say AJ Styles, because he's towards that back end of his career, and I would just love to get it before he's done, man.
Okay.
Because he's was my favorite wrestler. But other than him, I would have to say Omega, probably, just because
Ooh, Banger City right there with the cleaner. Oh yeah, yeah. Holy moly!
I like Kenny. I'm a big Kenny fan also, so I think it'll be fun.
Wait a minute, are you talking playing a video game against them or actually in the ring?
No. I would like to give him a couple knees and kicks and stuff too. So
Okay.
Nah, Kenny's the man. I would like to get in there with Kenny. It's hard because you got so many companies. You got the Will Ospreys out there. I would love to get in there with Amazing Reds, but obviously AJ Styles and Kenny Omega are at that top of that list for me.
Okay, fair enough.
Incredible. Eric Hunting says, "Will you be back to NWWE in Rhode Island?"
Yes, I would be. This summer for sure.
Nice.
July or August for sure.
Do you? I don't know. Again, like your life's probably so busy between family and just trying to keep booked all the time. But what companies do you watch? Like, do you actually watch wrestling every week? Do you watch MLW, AEW, WWE?
It's so much wrestling. It's so hard. Like I pick and choose like guys that I like to watch. So it's like not a. It's not sometimes a product as far as like sitting through a whole Raw. I'm not a big fan of sitting there watching that 3 hour show, especially if it's not going good.
No,
So
I
I just
agree. I agree. I totally agree with you because I mean Raw. I only watch Raw if Drew is on or Asuka or somebody I'm interested in. But AEW, I could
yeah,
sit there. Jack and I talk to all the time.
yeah. It seems like AEW shows coast through because it's fun to watch, you know. So like
Mhm.
if it's something terrible that's dread and long, I don't know, but obviously I like to watch guys that I'm familiar with. I'm pretty good friends with a lot of guys that are on AEW and other places too. So it's like I try to keep tabs on my guys and other people that I'm pretty good friends with. Alex Coughlin from New Japan Pro Wrestling. He was in the same New Japan camp that I did, and he got selected. Luckily for him, good for him, and he's been killing it. He's on a roll right now. I'm happy for him. So
Nice.
I watch a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really exciting that we have the New Japan AEW show in Chicago coming up in the summer. That
Oh
could
yeah,
lead to some really interesting stuff in the States. Hopefully those kind of partnerships continue and maybe open up more opportunities for yourself. And
oh, for sure.
I think from a fan perspective, I just try to put myself in your shoes. And I was just reading how Freddie Prinze Jr. is talking about
Yep.
opening another wrestling company. And to me,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. I saw that.
like I don't know, that would be kind of cool. Like there's another
Yeah, that'd be
opportunity,
cool.
another place to potentially work, depending on what it's like.
Yeah, I love it because then I seen that article too, and then I went on his Twitter to see if it was true. And the guy he puts the article out, and then he just see a bunch of wrestlers down in the comments like, if you need somebody, if you need
Yeah.
somebody, yeah. So it's like obviously it's great. The more wrestling companies, the better for the workers. You know, the better for us, better for the fans. Obviously, everybody makes money. Everybody has something to do, something to watch. Better for everybody, you know.
What
Absolutely.
I have a quick question for you. How do you have you watched Heels?
Yes, I actually yes, I have watched it.
Okay, what do you think?
I think it's borderline. It's good. It's good. Little soap opera, but I think it might be too back in the day-ish with the seriousness about being a heel and a baby face. Like what?
Again, what did I tell you?
Yes,
I love it. It's one of my favorite
generation.
TV shows. But again,
Yes,
I think
generation.
it
Like
caters
when
to the
he turned
generation.
when he had to turn heel in the beginning of the season, he's like, "Oh, I'm a heel now." And he could even say hi or bye to the girl or something like that.
I
Like,
know.
what a piece of shit.
But see, I think it's because see now my son, he was like, really? I'm like, boy, this is the way it was back in the day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
To
yeah.
me, it's like you have said, generation. You know, so I mean, obviously I'm digging it, and I never
Yeah,
asked this.
I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan of the show. But
Okay,
like even
I
when they took when they like I told me and my friend was watching, he was like, he ain't making a big deal out of turning heel. I was like, what you do when they told you had to turn heel? I was like, let's fucking go. I'm ready. I was ready. I was ready. So it's like, nah,
um,
it's definitely generations.
it is. It is. Now, Jack, I never asked any of our guests about this if they watched the show. Jack, you never watched it yet, have you?
I've only seen bits of it. It doesn't appeal to me that much, and
Oh my God, it's fantastic.
well, yeah, well,
I'm
we know who their target audience is now, right? I mean, it's more people our age than people Sammy's age.
yeah, but yeah, because Cody was like, he only watches it for the boobs. My son. I
It's
love
not
it, and
fault the kid. I mean, come on.
what's
Yeah, when I
that?
watch it, when I watch it, I watch it as far as like a down south back in the day type concept. Like I watch it
Well,
like that.
that's what it is. Yeah, and
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
right. And I enjoy it. I enjoy it. It's kind of fun to watch. I just like anything with wrestling, obviously. But it's just like, all right, I'm gonna watch this show
Well,
with wrestling that
okay.
has a
Part of the reason why I
storyline
was
with it.
all right, part of the reason why I was bringing it up is they're looking for indie guys as extras for the show.
Yeah, I saw. I think
Yeah,
I
so
put my application a little bit too late, so we'll see. Hopefully, I think I saw a day or two too late, so we'll see.
all right, that just popped in my head, and I was like, hey, all right. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
for
was just
sure.
thinking. Just thinking.
All right, Jay Claus says, "Would you be open to working dark matches as a jobber at AEW
Hey,
or
we don't use that word
NXT?"
around here.
Well, Jay's using it. Jay's using it, or just stay the course, building
Enhancement
your.
talent, J. Claus.
There you go.
Or would you just stay the course, building your name / product at the indie level till you get called up to the quote unquote big leagues?
That's a funny question because obviously, well, recently in February I was backstage with AEW, helping out as an extra. Um, I didn't get offered a match. Only one of the girls that was there got offered a match. It was not offered, but they chose her to do a match because she's been around the loop with them before. This is my first time with them, and to be honest, when you're there, you're just like watching everything going on. You just, I hope they pick me the job to somebody. It's just like I don't care. So, but
Then you
obviously,
find out it's Warlord. You're like, no,
no.
no.
No, but obviously, it's just about getting a foot in the door, no. So even if obviously there's people at different positions of their career, obviously to see like you wouldn't see a Jay Lethal go be on dark and job out to somebody. Obviously, Jay Lethal's at that top level, where someone
Oh, you could
like
take him.
someone like
I
myself.
hate Jay Lethal. Oh my God, you could take him. You could take him.
I would say somebody else, or even or whatever. Someone on that level would not. Someone like on or smaller level, even like a Sammy Diaz. If I got my foot in the door helping out with AEW or WWE, and they ask me to go do something, I'm gonna go do it to the best of my ability, just to show them that I can listen, I'm coachable, and I can do what you ask the correct way. So that would be my mindset of doing it. As far as like someone else that probably act like their shit don't stink, that wouldn't want to do it. I don't know. There's too many egos in this wrestling business. You gotta just make fun of yourself. You gotta have fun. A lot of people don't really have fun anymore, and just mainly be the egos that kill me because we're all on the same level. We're all trying to get to that next level. So why are you acting like that when we're all trying to get to the same destination?
Yeah,
No,
I mean, it's a really healthy
yeah.
perspective.
Always, I told Jack this. Always, when you're in front of the camera, when you're on the mic, you take yourself and you up it to 1,000 because you have to. You have to make fun of yourself. You have to be
Exactly.
obnoxious, but still be humble. And
Yeah.
I told you that, Jack. And because it's shut up, and because it's fun. Because you have to have fun if you're doing what you like. Because if you're not having fun, nobody's
It comes
watching,
off,
nobody's
and
listening.
people notice when you're not having fun. People knows when you're
Exactly.
bored. And
Yeah, and
like
I
Seth
mean, you
Rollins,
have
you can
to.
tell Seth is having fun right now. He's coming out
Yeah,
there
just
different
stand out.
idiot. Exactly.
Yeah, be an idiot because if you're not an idiot, no one's gonna notice. So
Yeah.
definitely stand out and have fun. I mean, my name changes week to week, so I mean, I'm just having fun.
I like this week's. I like this week's.
Oh, you should have seen last week was Mr. Testicular Fortitude. What was it, Jet?
Yeah, something like that.
So,
Yeah.
I just been having fun and changing it. I get away with it on this show. The other show I get yelled at. So this one I get away with stupid shit all the time.
Nobody yells at anybody on this show.
No, shut up. No, that's true. That's very, very true. Very true. Sammy, what's your next appearance? Where are you going to be wrestling next?
I gotta check my calendar. I believe it's That's a good question. I think it's Western Open. I think it's.
You need management, and I tell you, my
I
rates are cheap. My rates are cheap, and I can set you up. And all of my clients, and I can tell you this, all of my clients do end up with gold around their belts. They do. I mean,
Man.
everyone I signed so far has become a champion, as of late. VSK, to name one, and a couple other people, just so you know.
My man VSK.
Ain't that right, Jack?
It's something like that. I think everyone you've offered your service to has become a champion, like Alec Price and VSK.
I know! It's bizarre. I offer my services. 2 weeks later, they become a champ.
Yeah, it's
been, you just offered your service to me. You just offer your service to me.
I know. So if you become a champ, I'm coming looking for you because you need a signing contract.
I'll send a check. I'll send a check if I win a championship.
You heard it here. But it's seriously, everyone I offer my services to is like 2 weeks later. Hey, guess what? They just won a title. I'm like, mother, nice. Were you kidding me?
Nice.
Seriously, where can we find you next?
Wrestling Open. Obviously every Thursday they're there. I'm not too sure if I'm gonna be there this Thursday, but for sure next Thursday. This weekend I was probably gonna go to PAPW and East Haven, Connecticut. I don't know if you're too familiar with Connecticut. But yeah, so I know you guys are in Northampton, Mass, correct?
I'm in where Jack is. Jack's homeless.
Southern.
I'm not homeless. What are you telling Sammy that for?
Do you have a house?
Yeah, I'm sitting in it right now.
Where is it? Your house?
Yes.
Is your name on the lease?
Well, not yet. We're working on
it. So you're homeless.
I'm trying to think. What was the? I did have a question for you. There was a promotion I was trying to think of the name of. Because we were just in Connecticut. BST. You've wrestled with BST before, right?
Yes, I didn't. I think it was in February, March. Yeah, February and March. I think they had a show from. I think it was their first show back from the summer, from whatever it was. But
are you reading a teleprompter? Because you look like you're reading a teleprompter.
No. I, every time I space out that way, I'm thinking of what day or month it was. That's my deal.
Your wife is sitting here with a chalkboard, dude. Right.
No, I believe it was it was in March. I think they had their shows. I had a tag team match.
She's like, say this. No.
Well, we may
push
go
the
to
t-shirts.
Show, so we're hoping maybe we'll see you back there. And again, I have no idea what you can or can't talk about because that's in June. But
yeah. What's the June?
June 3rd, I think, is the next show.
Yeah, one of my sponsors is actually sponsoring their show. And as Jack and I, that's really weird to say. As Jack and I made an appearance at their store for Free Comic Book Day, we were talking about their show. And so, that's about it. Jack and I may be down there.
I will reach out and see what I can make happen. And hopefully I'll see you guys there.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, we're hoping to see you.
I know.
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I know that's June 3rd. That just reminded me of because I thought for some reason I just looked at my calendar and TOS and Invictus from New Jersey have a combined show on the 4th, and that's the day after. I just thought it was the same day for some reason. It's the day after.
Right on.
So yes.
We're hoping we're going to see you at the Luau on, I think it's June 24th for Blitzkrieg. I don't know whether you can even talk about it. Again, I know it's a ways off, but I'm hoping.
You'll see me there. You'll see me there. If you see me in the ring, that's the difference. We'll see. Hopefully. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
All right, absolutely. Sammy, we are wrapping up on time, so please tell everyone where they can find you on the social medias.
You can find me on Instagram at Sammy Diaz Wrestling, on Twitter at Sammy Diaz Jr., and the same for Facebook, Sammy Diaz Jr. for my wrestling page. And Pro Wrestling Tees /Sammy Diaz. Go get you a top 5 Dead or Alive shit.
There you go. Yeah, Jack,
those are sharp.
Please tell everyone where they can go buy some wonderful art. Get a commission.
Waiting. Yeah. My commission list is actually open for the Western Mass Comic Show that I will be at on May 29th. So that's coming up in Greenfield, Mass. But I'm on patreon.com. So go to patreon.com, look up Jack Purcell. And there's a lot of cool stuff you can support there. That's where you're going to see all my wrestling and comic book art. And I don't really show it anywhere else on social media. You get little details, but you can see the whole deal there. I'm Jack Purcell, Inc. INK on Instagram and Facebook. And on Facebook, you can find us at Faces and Heels. Instagram, Faces and Heels Podcast. And Lewis is going to tell you about YouTube, because if you haven't already subscribed, you got to click that button. It's free and quick. Right, Lewis?
Yes, sir. Just head on over to YouTube channel Batcave5151 or the Angry Geek Show on YouTube and click that subscribe button, please, and like and share every video on there, and please comment as well. And if you're watching us on South Hadley Public Access or Greenfield Public Access, write them guys, tell them how much you like us, and tell them you want more wrestling and more guests like Sammy, and we'll do all we can to get people on the show. How about that? I am Lewis Perry. You can find me each and every Monday night with my sister from another mister, that Wonder Woman Jamie Dolan, on the Angry Geek Show every Tuesday night with my brother like no other, ink-slinging Jack Purcell, right here on the Faces and Heels podcast. And I did... Sammy, we want you to hang out for a couple seconds because Jack wants to say something. But this is a sneak preview of something that's going to be happening really soon. And after this video, we're going to be gone. But Joe St. Pierre, Ian Chase Nichols, and myself, this is going to happen. Welcome to the Aqua Spider Podcast. Aquaman, Spider-Man, with your hosts, Joe St. Pierre, Ian Chase Nichols, Lewis Perry. The only podcast that focuses on Spider-Man and Aquaman. The show starts now. Please like.
This has been an Earplug Podcast presentation, found on earplugpod-cast.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.